Plastic pollution. Oceans. Media has cemented this link in our minds. What many are unaware of is that there is an equal abundance of plastics in freshwater as there are in saltwater. When plastics enter any aquatic system, they immediately start to degrade, breaking down into smaller and smaller pieces, which we call microplastics. So while we've created plastic monstrosities like Garbage Island in our oceans, microplastic pollution has resulted in rainbow sediment in our lakes and rivers. As life continues above water, we continue to release plastics and other pollutants, such as metals, into aquatic ecosystems. New evidence suggests that plastics and metals may be able to interact and chemically bind to each other, allowing plastics to transport metals through aquatic ecosystems and even into aquatic life once those plastics are ingested. Now, naturally, you're waiting for me to begin discussing how this complex of metal and plastic affects this fish. This fish is charismatic. This fish is useful. And most of us would say this fish is delicious. However, we need to walk before we can run. In order to understand the effects of these pollutants, we need to look at a species that is near the bottom of the food chain, one that has a simple and a known biology that will allow us to pinpoint the effects of these plastic and metal complexes. Though easily overlooked at first, this little leech is the ideal species to study these effects. Now, this is not your stereotypical blood-sucking parasitic leech. This leech is predatory. It lives at the bottoms of lakes, ponds, and rivers all across North America, providing it ample opportunity to ingest these microplastics, which so closely resemble its prey. We've already discovered that this leech is highly sensitive to metals, and we've been able to pinpoint the effects of metal exposure on their behavior. For example, exposure to cadmium affects this leech's ability to feed. Since we have this knowledge, my research can now focus on understanding how microplastics and metals interact, and how that resultant complex then affects the leech. This leech is a food source for so many important animals, including this fish. So by understanding how this complex affects the leech, we can then work to remediate the havoc wreaked by these pollutants. Thank you.